Hey guys, today I'll be doing a story time video on about my worst prom date. So it's like one story goes into another. So this happened back in high school, and this was a while ago. So back in high school, I really liked this guy. We'll call him Derek. So I really had like the biggest crush on Derek. Now he knew to an extent how much I liked him, but he didn't know how much I like him. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So he wasn't my boyfriend or anything. We never, But my cousin actually told him that, I liked him and I had a crush on him. Well, anyway, so I asked him to prom. And I was really nervous asking him, but I did ask him, and he was so excited, and he was like, yeah, I will go to prom with you. And I was like, yeah, because I went to an old girls school, so it's kind of hard to find guys. So he was my guy friend, and we hung out a lot at the time. So anyway, so, and it's funny because we're friends on Facebook, but anyway, that's besides the point. So I was like, yeah, cool. I did my thing, and so, and now keep in mind that, my mom paid for, the limo, and she paid for my dress, and she paid for me to go to prom. So she paid for two people because I thought I was bringing Derek with me, whatever. So, and then I wasn't gonna go by myself. I'll lead into that in a minute. So I had this best friend at the time. She was younger than me. Let's call her Daisy. So Daisy knew how much I liked him. Like, no denying. Because I used to write pages. Because at the time, I called her, but to talk to her on the phone, but I also, plus her family was really strict, so, they, I couldn't really talk on the phone that much with her. So I would beep her and she would beep me. And at the time, with the beepers, you could actually call up the number. And when you called up the number, you can actually leave a voicemail, which was so cool back in the day. So, one day I get this beep from her. And I call up my beeper, and she left a voicemail. And she's like, her sister picks up the phone. Like, after she leaves me a message, her sister picks up the phone, and I can't remember if she said, I saw Derek, or Derek called me. And her sister was like, oh yeah. Now mind you, her sister is my age, so if I used to write a letter, I would give it to her sister, and then her sister would give it to her. So that really got me upset. And like, I was like, how could she do this? Because she knew how much I liked him. And ladies, I mean, you all know that it's Frank code to never hit on your best friend's boyfriend or somebody that she likes, because it's just a big no-no. I wouldn't care if Derek had a girlfriend, because I wasn't friends with, like, do you get what I'm saying? Anyway, so a whole bunch of stuff happened. Like, my mom even told me years later, which I wish she would have told me then. She was saying, oh, when you guys were all bowling, Derek and Daisy were kissing outside. Like, what? What is this? Like, even before this whole big incident came. So, and then at the time we'd talk through AOL. So I would talk to him on Instant Messenger. I guess you could say it was Instant Messenger, IMs. So he's like, I would talk to him through, that's how I would keep in touch with him. And then all of a sudden, I'm hanging out with my friend Desiree. I've talked about her before. This girl, let's change her name to Kelly. So it was Desiree, Kelly, Daisy, Derek, and Daisy's sister, Bianca. So hopefully I didn't give the girl a different name in the beginning. Anyway, so we're all hanging out, and Derek was like, oh, we were in my friend Kelly's room, and Derek was like, oh, I have to go downstairs for a second. So I was like, all right, like, okay. And then all of a sudden, Daisy said she has to go to the bathroom. So she goes into the bathroom and comes out, and then comes into the room acting all weird. And they're in the, Kelly and Daisy were talking by the window. And all of a sudden I hear, should I tell her? And Kelly was like, yeah, you should tell her. All of a sudden Daisy turns around and was like, Christina, I just wanted to tell you that Derek kissed me. I was like, I felt like it felt like the whole room was going in slow-mo. And I remember Derek being downstairs saying, oh, my chest hurts, oh, I don't feel good. Because I think that they had I think they were going out. And I was in this, like, I felt blinded. And I think they had a fight. And I think Daisy went and said, I'm going to tell Christina. And that's what happened. So Daisy says to me, yeah, Derek kissed me. And I was like, what? And everybody was hugging her. Oh, nobody consoled me except for Desiree. And I always tell, because Desiree starts laughing when I tell her this. But at the time, I'm so glad she was there, because her asking me if I was alright meant so much to me. Because I felt like nobody cared. Like, they all sympathized with her and didn't, come up to me and ask me if I was okay. Only Desiree did, because Desiree knew that it was wrong. And Desiree knew that what Daisy did was really, really wrong. Anyway, so the next few days, I didn't really talk to him after that, because I was so mad. And so I went and I IM'd him a few days later, and I said to him that I didn't want to bring him to prom, because hold on, let me jump back to, because at one point he said to me on IMs, because that's what I was getting into before. He said to me, oh, I have to ask Daisy first. Why, if you're not in a relationship with her, why do you have to ask her if it's okay to come to prom with me? You know what I'm saying? I was like, why you have to ask her? And then I remember that day he brought roses for me, and he brought roses for my friend Kelly. Like, tried to, like, and I let that go, because I was like, all right, I'll still bring him to prom. Now, fast forward, I IM'd him, and I was like, you know what? I'm not bringing you to prom. I was like, you don't deserve to go to prom with me because of this situation. I was fuming. I was upset. And I remember, like, a few days later, I was talking on the phone. We had Daisy on speakerphone, and she was asking if our friendship was going to be the same. And sure enough, I mean, I hung out with her. She did a couple other things to Desiree's sister. But I'm not going to get into that, because that's a whole other story, and I don't want to put that situation on blast. But she also did some fudged up things to my best friend and her sister. So, and what I'm so glad is that Desiree did tell her off, but Desiree's like, the way you treated Christina was really, really wrong. Like, you should have never done that. And then, so Desiree always had my back. And then, what's even weirder is that, okay, so now I had nobody to bring. So Kelly's cousin said, oh, I have somebody to bring with you. So I was like, all right, so then I'll bring him. I didn't know him. So he was like, oh, let's dance. So I was like, all right. So I started to dance with him, and he felt really, really awkward because I was short. Like, I mean, give me a break. So then he didn't even talk to me or dance with me the rest of the night. And I was like, you know what? Forget this. So I danced with all my girls not on the table. I danced with all my friends, and I didn't give a hoot because I just thought it was really ridiculous and how it all came out. And it still bothers me, but not as much as it did back then. You know what? I'm over it, and guess what? I'm not friends with her anymore. But I'm still friends with him, but I lost touch with him, but I'm friends with him now, and he's a married man now, and I wish him the best. And with her, whatever. Anyway, that's it for my story, and I'll talk to you guys in another video. Bye, guys!